With the rising concern about society's most vulnerable, food banks have asked supermarkets to set aside supplies, including online delivery slots for charities. Some stores have already donated millions of pounds to food bank charities like FareShare and the Trussell Trust. But how are people reliant on such essential help managing to cope so far? Our Home Affairs correspondent Darshna Soni reports.
So usually all of this would be full with tinned items and dried goods. There's no more than about 20 food parcels stock in the food bank, and we've got 32 referrals to do.
Sajid Mohammed is desperately trying to keep his food bank open. He founded it nearly a decade ago, and along with his volunteers has helped hundreds of people across Nottingham. But the coronavirus outbreak has seen donations dwindle.
What we've seen over the last 14 days is people hoarding food and not donating. By not having the food is giving me anxiety, the staff, the volunteers, knowing that there could be 50 families within this neighbourhood starving because they haven't got any food.
The food bank is in an area called Hyson Green, a busy, bustling community, but also the 8th most deprived area in the country. More than half of all children in this ward are living in poverty.
This crisis has brought inequality into sharp focus, and there's likely to be a huge impact on hunger. Around 14 million Britons are living in poverty. Half of them are in work, and yet their jobs are most at risk. Already, many have been told to take unpaid leave, to reduce their hours, or have even been laid off altogether, making them more vulnerable.
You'd be amazed which people are using the food bank. You know, all different backgrounds, different educational levels, but just hit crisis in their lives.
And as more and more people are likely to hit crisis, the pandemic has exposed the fragility of our welfare system.
It could be financial, going on to universal credit.
For those who find themselves on universal credit, there's still a 5-week wait, something food bank providers want the government to scrap.
Hello.
Hiya, Chris. We're outside on the main door. Can you come here and collect it, please?
Yeah, I'm coming now.
Wicked.
That's how Chris Bailey ended up relying on donations.
Well, my partner recently died July last year.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, because of that, I had to downsize because I couldn't afford the rent. Then I went on to universal credit, and that's where the problem began.
Chris had been working in catering until he stopped to nurse his wife through her cancer. In the last few days, he's watched on as people have stripped supplies from the local shops.
And when you see people going mad in the shops for the food, what do you think?
Well, I think I wish I could do that myself, but obviously I can't. It's actually a life-saving bag of food there, really.
The government says it has announced measures to strengthen the safety net for people in these unparalleled times, including a £500 million hardship fund for local councils. For Sajid Mohammed, there's a moral responsibility for us all to look out for those most in need.
When I see people stockpiling, I get very angry and upset because I know that means a child, an elderly person, is probably going to go hungry.
A number of food banks have already taken the difficult decision to close their doors. In West Yorkshire, the police are investigating after this food bank was broken into, its shelves stripped bare of everything, including the toilet roll. Mr. Mohammed and his team hope to carry on for as long as possible, keeping faith that these uncertain times will bring out the best in our behaviour as well as the worst.
We all need to work together and just think about our actions, think about the consequences. If we all work together, there'll be plenty of food for everyone.